Hi everyone. Today I wanted to very quickly talk a little bit about night reverie. Now, before we even get into the video, I want to hit you with some numbers and some facts about this game. Night reverie, in comparison to a lot of the other games we've covered, are not horror at all. It is a very cozy game throughout most of it. However, I think it is one of the most underrated games I have ever played. Now, the reason why I think that is because it has 197 reviews as of the recording of this video on Steam, being mostly positive, and over the last 24 hours, there's been 0 people playing it. Or last month, there's been 1, and that 1 person is me. It is insane how obscure this game is in comparison to what it honestly should be. As this game is good, this game is definitely worth playing, and I will go into why throughout this video. It is a game made by Somber Studios, in case you didn't know. And like, if you just want the very short, is this worth your money, then yes, go and buy it now. If you want to go into a little bit more depth with me, then watch the rest of the video. But yeah, anywho, I hope you'll enjoy it, and here we go. Also, very quick warning, I am gonna discuss some story stuff in here, not all of it. It's mainly gonna be revolving around a twist throughout the latter part of the game, so like around the end of it. I will have to discuss that, as that completely just puts some things into perspective, and it helps me convey some stuff I otherwise wouldn't be able to. I'm gonna try to avoid spoiling, well, too much anyway. But yeah, just quickly want to give you the warning. Now, Night Reverie is a game where you play as a child in your family home that's been distorted, and you have to go around doing some puzzle solving, some diddly doing, and some deadly doing to fix up the house and find out what the fuck is going on here. To put it very simply, a lot of what is revealed throughout the game hints towards something going on in real life, and this being sort of a bubble you've built yourself into, which is a theory that ends up being completely true. However, this does not affect the game's vibe, and the vibe is what's important here. Throughout the entirety of the game, it feels like one of those evenings when you were a child. You're sitting on the couch watching cartoons a little bit later than usual with your parents. You're all up, just watching some Ninja Turtles, some Samurai Jack, and you're eating some chips maybe. Right before bedtime. It's that type of feel, and it is that throughout the entirety of the game, despite its story that does get serious. There's no fight, there's no combat, so it's a very chill game. It's a game that I found that I relaxed in a lot in comparison to what I thought I would. And all of this is enhanced by the visuals and the music. Also, very big kitty. The biggest kitty. Can we just mention the big kitty? Yeah, the big kitty is pretty cool. I will fully admit I saw that kitty and purchased the game. I was like, pretty much it. But yeah, the big kitty and the music. Now, like always, I love to give people a taste of the music when I am like, oh, it's so good, right? Like, I'll just shut up for a bit and I'll let you listen to it as well, just give you an idea. let me know what you thought of that. I personally really like the soundtrack to the game. It overall just adds to the atmosphere. Now, we have talked about the music, we've talked a little bit about the visuals, but I think it's important to also touch on the small details. And while I won't be spoiling or talking about all of them, because there are one, a lot of them, and two, it's one of the few things you can notice throughout the game, I'm going to talk about what I consider an obvious one. And that is, at some point during the game you meet a dog in overalls and whatnot. He's a little nervous, and he taps a lot. So you might be wondering, well, what's his name? His name is Tabby. It is so cute. I cannot begin to describe how cute that is. But it really adds to the atmosphere of this sort of childlike environment that's super friendly, but it's also really weird. And it all adds to it. Now, here's where the spoiler tag comes in, because what I'm going to be talking about from here on forward for a little bit is going to be the story. I'll leave a timestamp in the video to let you know when I'm done talking about story stuff. Alright, what's this all about? Now, you see in the game you play as either one of two children. It is two siblings, and there is a very good reason for why to adjust it up, and we'll get to that. So you start out playing as the boy, the older brother to a little sister who has been lost within this disordered house. As you walk around solving mysteries and puzzles, you learn more about the characters you solve them for, about the quest you go on, about the world around you, but more importantly, about your life, about the main character's life. Because you see, the kids have not always had it easy. The parents are fighting a lot. You hear about how they used to be more of a family. So my first thought was that, well, they're going through a divorce, and that's what you're helping, this kid in his mind cope with. I was wrong on so many levels, because you see, and it's revealed at the end of the game, and this is the big twist I was talking about. At the end of the game, it's revealed that you and your sister, doing a trip to this castle you used to visit with your family, went out at night. So look at the scars, because the stars are pretty and you like looking at them. You mention how, the main character mentions how they'll protect his sister and, the teddy bear that she brought along. And they go in this boat and they sail out. The sister drops the teddy bear. Now, the main character, living up to the promise, tries to reach into the teddy bear and unfortunately falls into the river and drowns. The entire game is about you going through a version of limbo to help your sister accept the fact that you are dead. When that was revealed to me, I have to be honest, it was a gut punch. It was wrenching, but it all made so much more sense. The parents are not fighting specifically because of a divorce or because of marriage problems. They're fighting because they lost a kid. It no longer feels like a family because they lost, one of their members. I think anybody who's ever suffered a loss will really be able to get into the mindset of it, like a family loss. And I think it's handled extremely well. Because you see, throughout the entirety of the game, it is all about this child's writing, almost seemingly seeing it from a kid's perspective, but it makes sense because you are a kid. It's why you're invited to a tea party. It's why everything feels so childish at times, to the point where it, for me, clashed a little bit. Like, you would go from hearing this really serious perspective to here, to be talking about friends. It's like super weird, but it made sense at the end, because you realize that, it's because you're accepting the fact that you're dead and you're helping your sister accept the fact that you're dead. And this twist honestly enhance the game. I was gonna recommend it beforehand, and now it just made it an even bigger recommend for me. I really adore it. I cannot describe how good it is. So we'll just talk a little bit more. But first, before we do that, I'll play one cutscene that I find to be super cute for you, just so you have an idea of how the cutscenes looks as well. So how do you like it? That's how all the cutscenes sort of look. It ends up being this weird perspective on things. However, as I said, it adds into the vibe. Most of what this game does is build into a vibe of general coziness and of, as I said, the feeling of those late summer nights. In Danish, there's a word for it called hygge, and it's essentially building into that. It's the sense of you being together with your friends and family on a warm summer night and you're just having a good time. That's what this game is so good at building at. And it comes together with the music, the cutscenes, the story, and it just all puts it together into this wonderful and delightful game. I can really not recommend it enough. Even if you don't like puzzle games like me, like I personally don't normally play games like this, it's a high recommend. It's so good. Plus you have a giant kitty. I mean, what more could you want? And if you're wondering why there's slightly more time on the video when I'm ending it now, it's because throughout the next however long I'm gonna be talking a little bit about where I've been, what the next video is gonna be about, and so on. So if you wanna watch that, you can continue watching this video. If you don't, I'd recommend checking out the Faith video I have, and or the Milk video I have. It's up to you realistically. If you don't want to watch any of it and you have gotten enough from me for one day, then I'll catch you later. Hope you have a good day wherever you're from. And I will personally probably go to bed after this. But let's talk a little bit more about your channel then, shall we?